Hi and welcome to the winter edition of She is Outdoors, the Women's Gear Award. I'm here today with Alexa and the rest of the jury to introduce the winning products, and we have some other things going on tonight. Alexa, thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you, Jana. Thank you anyway for calling me out to be the head jury of this fantastic women's jury. We had in 2 days, we have been testing the products, we've been judging the products in a hybrid way, which was sometimes not as easy, but we came to really fantastic awards.
Okay, now we come to the part we have all been waiting for, the announcement of the winners. We've had a long time test, in fact, in advance, where we sent out some of the products to some of the jury members we figured were the best in testing them. And then, Alexa, do you want to explain how we proceeded with the jury meeting?
Yes, with pleasure. We actually had 2 days, and day one was actually in the morning meeting and really testing live with the products and judging. And then we all came together, some in a digital form, some in the present form, and we looked at each product one by one. Day two, we continued and finalized after lunch. We actually awarded the products and really discussed very deeply about each product and carefully, and came out to fantastic points. And I would like to say some special points that came up in this round. It's really outstanding features that were discovered. Some of them were that we really found out that they're lighter weight products. So for females, for women that are lighter in the hardware, versus power conversion, for example, in winter hardware. And we had more adapted ergonomic cuts with lighter, softer, but super robust fabrics in clothing. And especially simple and easy handling in various hardware, to name just a few. Thank you.
We will now be showcasing all the products that were competing in each category. And at the very end, we will be announcing the winners. Let's go.
Let's go. congratulations to the gold winner in the hardware category. It's the Norröna Lofoten 28 backpack. And the jury says the fit is very women specific, clean design with all the technical details you need.
Thank you so much for this award. It's such an honor. We're super stoked to keep creating women-specific product to help encourage and enable women to experience nature and get outside. So again, thank you.
Run in 15 meters, search strips and look out.
Congratulations to Fritchie. The gold winner is the binding Xenix 10. This is what the jury says. This binding offers ski tourists on every level and every expertise a perfect match. Easy to understand and easy handling in switching from skiing to hiking mode. Congratulations, Fritchie.
In the parrot category, we have two winners, two pens here. And there is the winner, which is the Mammut pen, and the jury was first not really sure about the strength of the pen, but then convinced regarding insulation and strength, so this pen got the award. And secondly, we have the gold winner, which is the OUTDOOR 3-layer bib, and perfectly shaped, and especially in the upper part, well fitted. So this is the reason why this pen got the award as well.
Gold winner of the Outdoor Professionals and Expedition is Adidas Terex with the Tech Rock Prime Knit Rain RDY pants. Jury says, well-working technical pants that don't look like outdoor professional. You could also wear it on the streets because of its style and the perfect fit.
The winner of the Sustainability Award is Pure with the Everwarm Parker. For the jury, it is the perfect combination of fashion and function, combines with sustainability. It reflects today's zeitgeist, best of all submitted products.
Congratulations to Orthodox. You are the overall winner with your product Direct Voice. And this is what the jury says. It's a big step for people's safety in the mountains. From professional to retail to consumer. Everybody was convinced right away. The biggest innovation in snow sports for years.
How can we team up to improve the customer experience in times of constant change and at the same time strengthen the local retailers? We have developed a tool that's simple to integrate into your website as a plugin and displays the real-time availability of your products in local stores. With our team, we implement a full visual integration into the CI of your brand. Outra already enables many brands to optimize their customer journey and sales in an easy way. For your partners worldwide, the onboarding is free of charge and so straightforward that we can currently access the availabilities of over 1,000 retailers. Let's get ahead of change and break new ground in the collaboration between brands and retailers.
Hello and back again, and a very warm welcome to our jury discussion on She's Outdoors Women's Specific Award. I'm very proud to be the moderator of the jury here now, where we discuss products, market potentials and status quo. What opportunities and challenges do Anny Cardinahl, Alexa Dehmel, Jana Erb, Astrid Schlüchter and myself, Kim Scholze, see for the trade? So again, we worked together, we had a good time together. Maybe it's important now that you present yourselves. Why are you here for and what do you do for life? Where is your passion? We start with you, Astrid.
Hello, I'm Astrid Schlüchter. I'm the editor-in-chief of the B2B magazine SAZ Sport. And we started to support the She is Outdoors Awards since last summer, 21. When Jana started the first women-specific award. And for us, it's really important to show our readers that there is more than the slogan "Pink it or shrink it," that women-specific products are very important and have a really good standing in the market, and we should push it more. And so I'm very happy to be here, and it was really a great jury and really great products.
Thank you, Astrid. We continue with you, Anny.
My name is Anny Cardinahl. I'm in about 30 years now in the outdoor industry, and my background is omni-channel retail. So I run my own agency called OUTDOOR and yes, I'm familiar with this industry, as I said, 30 years, and this is the reason why I'm here, because I worked in purchase and category management, so I use these products as well. So these are the components that make me be part of the jury.
Yes, this is important to really highlight. It's more than family with all the products. Jana, say something on you.
I'm very, very happy for all of you to be here and to support us with. Well, we came up with this very weird idea in the beginning of February 2021, and yeah, we got to hand out the first awards in summer. And now we're here with the second round, the winter edition, and we have a fantastic jury, supporters from the industry. We have now 2 big retail partners that are going to present the winning products. And of course, we have Outra as our presenting partner. And yeah, the support we have experienced from all the industry and from the media has been huge. So thank you very much, and thank you for moderating this round here.
Sure, I love it. Alexa.
Thank you, Kim. Hi, my name is Alexa Dehmel. I have an agency in Munich called Active Sports Design and Consulting, and my heart burns for this industry. Since more than 25 years, I'm loving to design, develop, and consult some of the main parts in this industry concerning clothing. And I was allowed to design for many big brands, for many consumer brands, mainly on water, mountain, and performance sports. And my expertise led over to material as well, due to performance days and functional fabric fair curation. So I'm very happy to help here to contribute my knowledge and expertise to this jury, and leading this jury. We had such fantastic discussions, and I'm happy that I could contribute with my knowledge.
Thank you, Alexa. And it's always a pleasure to work with all of us. Let's call it like this. We have different perspectives, as you have maybe seen in the introduction round. It's from retail to communication to press, and also to design and production. We start with you as the head of us, of the jury, with maybe some introductory words. And we said, just to remind you all, please interrupt each other and make it as lively as possible, because we want to start with the question from your eyes, design specific and women specific, on products and on the status quo in the market. What ingredients and what kind of transfer from the last 2 years, because things changed. What is important for you to share with us in terms of women-specific products?
I would like to specify 2 parts, which is always the hardware and the clothing. And I also want to point out the first thing we were all excited about this year, because we looked at all the categories, and the biggest discussion and the biggest R's and O's we had were on backpacks. And that was super interesting for me, because backpacks were long. Jana, she's a super specialist at backpacks, and she showed us all the details. And this time I had to admit that we found out that really most of the brands had put so much new efforts for female design in backpacks that we actually had difficulties in finding the winner. We've been discussing very long. So that was the first thing.
Something to add on this, Jana?
Yes, I have a lot of experience carrying heavy backpacks, as I'm a photographer. That's where I come from. And I have been selling backpacks actually at Globetrotter in Munich. So I've seen different backpacks on different people with different body shapes, and there really has been a lot of development going on, especially for women. And the belts in the shoulder area that were mostly straight in the beginning have now been really nicely designed for women-specific use. And all the backpacks had some special things to them, and very, very huge love to details. And it was, I think, for the jury, a very hard decision.
And this is why we call it a jury discussion, to really make sure that all the details are proven, belt proven. So back to the second part.
Second part, I go to the apparel directly, because we were so excited about the apparel category, as we've been discussing very hard. And in the end, what came out was that we found that the brands have put really a lot of effort in pattern specifically for pants, because nothing is harder than to buy a good pair of pants, if it's sports or if it's in daily use, but having functional, really perfectly fitting pants, really, and they fitted bigger sizes, they fitted smaller sizes. We've been testing them, and in the beginning when we looked at them, we were like, okay, there's the mammut pink, which is the mammut pant, which is pink, and then we were like, oh, do we really want a pink pen? But then you need, of course, the high vis. And when we tested it, when we found out what it all kind of details had, the perfect body mapping during the use, finding out that this really soft material is extremely robust, it made us all excited. And then also the OtterBox bib, seeing that, I mean, you don't even have a problem in doing your female needs when you have to step aside quickly. I mean, everything is thought through, the fit is perfect, and this led to that we were very convinced that it's going to build up further and further and giving much more comfort for female products also in apparel.
And I think nowadays you can see that there's really an assortment for women in specific women's styles. It's not only about jackets and pants and shoes anymore. It's more about sleeping bags and backpacks as well. So, and this is definitely something that has to be communicated stronger towards the end consumer as well. Because this is what a lot of women don't know, that there are so many really specific and details. And when you look at the Mammoth pants, what you just said, it's regarding the installation. It's really kind of a unique style, and it's really good to see now that we really have good assortments for women-specific needs.
Yes, you made the question already to an answer. Which were your highlights in terms of philosophy, story, in terms of design, demand for materials, and in specific view on trousers as winners? We had lots of discussions on that. So what's your view, Astrid?
Because of the
and your highlight, sorry.
Yeah, because of the perfect. Okay, my highlight is the pure jacket because of the perfect combination of design and function, and the combination with sustainability, because the jacket is really circular. Full circular, and it works in everyday life. So it's for me, it's an urban outdoor jacket, but it works also when you go hiking, and it looks very, very clean and easy. And I think women just want to have easy and clean styles, but not only in clothing, also with technical stuff. And there's a lot more than garments. It's also for skiers that there are specific products, because women want to do free ride sports. They want to do ice climbing and go downhill biking, and they need special.
They do.
Yeah, they do, and they need special products. And this is a good way to show this.
And actually what you said regarding the pure jacket and the sustainability aspect, having something that's kind of really used in different contexts. So it's a really unique product to use for different days in the year and different activities as well. So I think this is part of the sustainability aspect as well, having something that's really multifunctional.
Yeah,
a huge point to take for retail, which is one of your expertise. Maybe there's some highlights conversation around technical devices, because we discussed that. Can you point out what we talked about?
You mean regarding the direct voice?
The gold winner.
The overall winner. So yes, it was the OutDOOR direct voice, where we were really all surprised about the pure technique, and that you don't have to be a tech freak to use this item, and it makes it very safe in the mountains, being around on skis. And I think of course it's a unisex product, but I think it's pushing female outdoors as well. So I think there's a movement that makes it easier to go outdoors than by having these technical devices and use them in the snow as well.
Thank you. There was one point which we discussed heavily, and we are not the whole jury. Please check out the website for all our wonderful colleagues on Pamela, Kath, etc. And we had a topic. We had an issue on what comes next. And it's the sustainability, not an issue, but of course a demand from the consumers. And each of us had, out of the perspective of the expertise, a very clear frame of what we discussed. We had the point of shopping ethics. We had product selections, we had product ingredients, we had communication and attitude, and we have criteria. And of course, all the background information from the brands. So when we might start, because you already outlined what the sustainability and contribution of retail is in that specific area and out of your expertise from being a buyer. Can you put us on board?
I think it's part of the deal is to showcase all the products that are on the market. So you have to show alternatives as well. And I think what my goal was always not to overequip people, so that you have really the right product for the right moment. And if you just walk along a promenade on a lake, you don't need the same jacket that you need for Mount Everest possibly. So of course you can wear whatever you want to, but I think regarding sustainability aspects and stuff like this, by definitely hardcore and high outdoor professional equipment, you definitely use different fabrics, which are for the urban usage possibly a bit more sustainable to look at, because this is the surrounding where we can establish the sustainable aspect as well, way more than in the core segment.
It all has to do with performance, I guess, and this is where your opinion might help our viewers to get a clearer picture on what happens right now.
It is incredible what kind of performances are developed nowadays, and if the brands really intelligently use these options of body mapping, of the intelligent development of fabric, because we have different directions. Definitely, we have, when we go towards waterproof, we have really a huge variety of performing membranes that are showing up on the market. That go from e-spinning to coated membranes that offer any kind of differentiation, going circular, if it's from pure nylon, if it's pure polyester, or if it's polyurethane even. I mean, we have 3 more options now to go complete circular. I mean, there's now nylon insulation. So we can do a circular nylon jacket, fully waterproof. We can do a fully circular waterproof polyester garment. We can do a fully waterproof polyurethane garment. So this is really great approach in the waterproof categories. Then we have in the mid layers going towards the base layers. So base layers become more and more natural fibers. So we have ore blends with naturals and synthetic fibers that are melted so that they give the best performance for the body in thermal regulation and heat absorption or breathability and comfort. And then for the mid layers, we have the options that we can really build the garments in body mapping, insulated, non-insulated, in different areas that actually full comfort is given if you build them intelligently, that you have no more bad weather. I mean, it's just the bad clothing.
Yeah, and I think one aspect as well is that the question of fashion, function and sustainability, this industry is definitely ahead of the curve. And so I see an aspect for retail as a unique selling point as well, that compared to some fashion brands, that you can really educate people on being fashionable but sustainable and functional dressed as well.
Absolutely.
And you see a perfect combination of consultancy and bringing all the expertise with us. So.
Yeah, and I mean, what was exciting in the last fabric fair was actually that we have cross-industry development for fabrics. So the computer industry delivers PU that is used to build a membrane in a waterproof fabric. And then we have old car tires that are through a chemical pyrolysis treatment rebuilt into old oil, and then recycled for as recycled nylon on the market. So we have it's fantastic what's happening. We have old fisher nets that are recycled for old nylon. We have by the sea, by land, PET recycled and reworked. So there's a lot of impact going on, bringing back recycled materials from any industry possible to make also the textile industry a little bit more sustainable. Because We really have to see. We are still the second most polluting industry.
Definitely, and it's really just having our time frame and the rest of our discussion partners. We can only recommend your lectures, and hopefully there are a lot of platforms to come where you can share your eco knowledge, just from the communication part, and then coming back to what do you see in terms of sustainability, the consumer, and the approaches we need to take, not only for the women's perspective, because there is sustainability overarching.
I think the outdoor industry is really up to the fashion industry. I mean, if you go outside and if you want to buy a jacket, I think everybody is looking to have some sustainable stuff and to buy some sustainable stuff. And there are a lot of brands who support the consumer by buying some sustainable stuff and to let repair the jacket and go into the circle again. So I think we are here on a good way, and maybe the fashion industry is there a little bit slower with these terms, but for me the outdoor industry is really good, is really working good, and the consumer is really good informed about all the sustainable features of a jacket or of the materials.
Yeah, but I think that the broader aspect, so the broader audience, this is what we have to reach within the next couple of years to be stronger in that case as well. Because when you see the fashion trade shows where I've been the last summer as well, it's definitely not that strong communication regarding sustainability. No. The parts of these trade shows are way smaller than in percentage when compared to the others, what we have as industry shows. And so there is definitely one of these best selling points for retail in the outdoor segment or a sports segment, but definitely you have to communicate this a bit better to the broader audience, that they find something that's fashionable and good for the cities as well.
Not just communicate, but also educate.
Yes.
Educate as well. This is what I said before. Yes, of course, it's part of the deal that we have to educate people as well.
This is exactly what all this expertise, authenticity, and super enormous energy is why you put the jury like it is. So what is your future? Where do you see She Is Outdoors, and what kind of derivations do you do for your criteria?
I see this award as an educational platform where we can educate the brands, we can educate people that we reach, the visitors, and we can educate retail, and that's the connection I think we want to make. The point is that looking at this and taking this responsibility, that kind of means that we really have to ask ourselves and reconsider the criteria we have. So we sat down together, we worked on a jury statement regarding sustainability, and we will be publishing a short video where we will explain the new criteria that are an absolute basic needs for the products that are allowed to be entered into the award in summer 2022.
And maybe adding this to what's in your head, seeing not only the past, how many efforts you put it into to set it up like a real statement for the industry, seeing women-specific products, also your personality, and of course, if you feel it as an educational thing, there are so many legislative processes which need to be considered if there is a change in the market on 2025, which is then on your responsibility, or even earlier, yeah. So, but seeing is as your responsibility for a platform thinking, I think that's speaking us from all of us. Congratulations to your great award, to your format. Congratulations to the brands, and see you in summer.
Thank you for being a part of this and for supporting us. We couldn't have done it without you. We couldn't have done it without the brands, and of course, we couldn't have done it without our partners. Thank you very much. We will see you at the meet and mingle if you want to join in. We have an open platform to discuss all different kinds of topics. Just join in, we share the link. Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye, bye-bye.
Thank you, Alexa. We are starting off with a keynote with Laura, who was part of the Mosaic expedition on Polarstern last year. Here we go. Very happy to have you here today. You have been on one of the, I think, biggest adventures that you can dream of, being frozen into the ice on Polarstern on Mosaic expedition. What does it feel going into this adventure, and how did your daily life look like?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Laura, and well, you asked me how it feels. Actually, I would say I really feel humbled to be part, or to be able to join this big expedition, because it meant a lot for me. It was my big dream to be on this icebreaker once in my lifetime. So
how did you get there? What happened to get you there?
Well, maybe first I have to introduce myself. So I'm a geographer. I studied geography, and my point of view was glaciology. And I really like white landscapes, snow-covered landscapes. And the thing is that I joined a big excursion to Greenland with university in 2011, and since that I fell in love with Greenland. So I tried to think about how could I get there back again, and I applied as a tour guide for Greenland. So I'm working there since 8 years as a guide, and then I got some jobs for Spitsbergen, for Finland and Norway. And these guide experiences led me to this big expedition.
So basically, so just to get an idea, what does a day on Polarstern look like for you, and what was your job?
I have been there during the Arctic summer. So I've been on Polarstern for 3 months. The ship was frozen for 1 year in the Arctic Ocean. Our daily life was actually kind of structured, because the scientists had big pressure to collect all this data, to go out on the ice to their stations to measure the atmosphere, the ocean, and the ice and the snow. But I was part of the logistics team and the safety team, so I had to go out with the scientists as a polar bear guard. So I was the lookout person. While the scientists could do their job, I had to look for polar bears.
So being in the Arctic is one of the most extreme places I think you can be in. Most of us can imagine. It's not a place meant for people. What does it feel like? What are the problems? And how does it feel like?
Actually, it felt like kind of also safe, because we had our home base, the ship. We were not sleeping in a tent. We had our base, our little village with the researchers and the crew. So inside the ship it felt safe, but outside it could be extremely harsh.
So you've been on lookout for ice bears all day. How do we imagine that job, just to get an understanding?
It's a really structured job. We met every morning in the conference room, and we discussed with the scientists what do we do today, because they had to go out to their camps to measure, to get to collect data from the atmosphere, from the ocean, from the ice, and they needed us, the polar bear guards, as a lookout person. So while the scientists did their job, we were just the lookout.
You're standing there, looking in the binoculars all day,
yes,
and try to focus.
Yes, actually we were 3 hours in the morning outside. Then it's hard to focus, because the concentration, you cannot concentrate for such a long time.
It's cold, and the cold, in my understanding, has a huge impact on the amount of energy you have and the amount of focus that you have.
Yeah, because even it's bright, the sun is not shining the whole day. It's very foggy, and you cannot focus 3 hours through the binoculars
on a white ice bear.
Yes, because
possibly white ice bear.
Yeah, because you see then after sometimes everywhere polar bears, because you think, oh, is there moving something? Yeah. Oh no, it's just a piece of ice. And when you're focusing too long, your concentration is going down, and this makes it a bit was a bit exhausting. But we were also responsible to be the polar bear watch on the bridge. So that means on the highest point of the ship, we had also per day 3 hours and to communicate with the guards on the ice. So we switched, our team switched, and so...
Okay. What did you do in case of an encounter?
And the thing is, actually the encounter itself should not happen. That's why we have the bridge watch. So the bridge watch has the overview
and
on
they
the
see
ice
it first.
and they should see the polar bears first, but then we have our binoculars, and for me the binocular is a kind of weapon and not the weapon itself. So you can see really very fast with the binocular, and then you can react. You can call the bridge, you have your VHF radio with you, and you also have a kind of flare gun, the signal pistol, where you can
to scare it away,
to chase the polar bears away, and then you can go back to the ship. So
as a polar bear guard, you didn't only protect the scientists from the polar bears, but also protected the polar bears. At the same time, Polarstern forced its way into an environment where, let's say, people are not supposed to be. And you did that in the name of research for climate change. How do you deal with that conflict?
Well, I totally understand your question, or the conflict maybe people asked. But the thing is, we and the scientists, we were not on this big expedition frozen for 1 year in the Arctic Ocean for fun. We had a mission, and the mission was to gain data. We collected data from the atmosphere, from the ocean, from the ice, from the snow, from the whole complex Arctic ecosystem. And this data is for the next generation and a big treasure. And this big treasure, this data means we gained knowledge. And with the knowledge, we can educate people. And this education has to lead to action.
So that sounds like a big expedition. How many people do you think have been involved in that project over the whole time?
Oh, it was really a big expedition, and I think more than 1,000 people were involved. But we had on board of Polarstern during the whole expedition several hundreds of scientists from all over the world. And when you think about this big mission, and then it's so special when you also see the political perspective, when all these nations from Russia, from India, from the US, from Germany work together to get a better understanding of the Arctic climate and to gain data for the future generations. That's, for me, I think, very special, because
it is.
Yeah, this maybe does not happen that often.
No,
that people work together so close.
Yeah, I think we're beginning to get an understanding that we are all in it together when it comes to climate change, because it's not one single country that can have an impact. We all have to team up.
Exactly.
You did something that most of us wouldn't do. Get yourself in that environment where you cannot get out. What gave you the courage to just follow your dream and follow it so consequently?
I think, it's not easy to leave the comfort zone, but you are getting always richer when you are leaving your comfort zone. And maybe this is why I'm doing this. And also I feel really connected to the Arctic, and it's just a feeling. I
think that we are now at the moment closer to getting an understanding what it means to be stuck on a ship with the same people, with Corona and the lockdowns we have experienced in the last few years. I think that's the closest that most of us are ever gonna get to the experience of being frozen in the ice. you had to go through quite a long time of self-quarantine beforehand. What does it feel now that you're back?
When the pandemic started, it was so new for us, and for me it was extremely important to be part of this expedition. So I set myself under self-quarantine for 1 month, and then we had to go under quarantine in a hotel before heading to the Arctic on the ship. Now, when I came back, it felt like, can you say surreal? Because it's so, I don't know, now we thought, oh, the pandemic is over when we come back from the expedition. We were in our bubble and then we come back and yeah, that's it. And now it's like, it feels like a never-ending story, and it makes probably everybody of us very tired, and I'm honest, I wish myself back to the ship because it felt more safe there.
Do you think that COVID and the consequences of COVID have an impact on research on the one hand, on the other hand, on the attention that we give to the topic of climate change? And how does it affect your job being back here with COVID?
Yeah, the thing is, I think it has an impact, but I think I don't want to make enemies, but I think climate change is much more important to discuss, or not to. It should not get can you say forgotten in the minds of people. Yeah. And yes, science is still happening. I know that the scientists do a lot of effort to can do their scientific job and work, but I think media is telling now currently too less about climate change, which has in the future more effect than COVID-19, and I can stand for that.